Hark, it was the year 2008 when noble Massa nearly sealed his fate. He wept with grace, a hero undone, till Hamilton passed Glock and the title was won. Yet lo, 15 years hence, Massa returns, waving scrolls demanding justice burns. Forsooth, they robbed me, he doth proclaim, bro still trying to reload the 2008 save game. The judge sighs, my brother in Christ, the race is over. Ferrari looks away, F1 Twitter takes cover. Where once he was lost with noble grace, now he's farming L's in the legal race. Oh Felipe, thou art a legend true, but chasing ghosts won't honour you. Let 2008 be laid to rest, for memes remember those who lost best. And welcome back to the Lab. We are talking, as you probably guessed, Felipe Massa and the 2008 needless, pathetic, ridiculous, why is he doing it? Maybe just for the money, court case, but before we get to that, on this day in F1, on the 1st of November, it was the Japanese Grand Prix 1998. Mika Hakkinen won the world title, but the race was restarted once, no, twice, absolutely. And on that second restart, if you are anyway superstitious, at 13:13 exactly, Michael Schumacher stalled his car, had to go right to the back. He charged for the pack, but sadly, just like Nigel Mansell, a puncture ended his hopes. Meanwhile, Mika Hakkinen was absolutely flawless. Cool, calm, collected. The Iceman, the man in complete control. He crossed the line to win the race and secure his very first out of two Drivers' Championship. And that cemented Mika in F1 legend. So, from Mika Hakkinen to another guy beginning with an F. I was going to say M, but his first name is not Massa. That completely ruined it, didn't it? Oh dear. So, here we go. We're talking about Mika Hakkinen, but this is Felipe Massa arriving in court not too long ago for the 2008 hearing. Yes, it's getting interesting, isn't it? So, I found a few things that are going to explain things very well to the masses. See what I did there? So, why Massa believes the 2008 Singapore Crashgate, the Singapore Grand Prix, cost him the title. Rolling back, Singapore 2008, Fernando Alonso won in the Renault team because he pretty much started at the back after bizarre qualifying. He did have a very good pace, though. Nelson Piquet Jr., Alonso's teammate, was asked to crash at a certain corner where it was a guaranteed safety car. He did just that. And Alonso, I think, had already pitted beforehand. And with the safety car, that allowed him to get into the lead and ultimately win, because then everyone else pitted. And it was a year later when Nelson Piquet was unceremoniously sacked from the Renault team that he splurged the beans. He's like, right, I'm going to get you back, Flavio Briatore. And I guess he did, because then Flavio Briatore got, taken away from Formula One, asked to never come back, but now he's back. Yeah, the honourable bastion of truth, that is Flavio Briatore, the man of integrity. I digress. So, scroll forwards now to October. Well, it's now November, but the end of October 2025. So Felipe Massa and his legal team are intensifying their efforts to seek justice for the 2008 World Championship, because they think had that race been annulled, then ergo Massa is a champion, simply because a conversation in 2023 by Bernie Eccleston, he suggested that they knew something fishy was up, yet they carried on, and according to Massa, they did nothing. But as we know, he narrowly lost out to Lewis Hamilton in the 2008 World Championship. Now, speaking to media, Massa expressed his belief that the infamous, now understandably, Singapore Grand Prix was a pivotal moment in his career and in the life of the Ferrari chassis that may or may not still have an oil rig stuck to the side, if you saw that race. But this was an interview I gave to someone in Germany, and the guy this time, the English wasn't that good, and he was taking notes. And it was picked up by someone in England, this Twitter post goes on to say. But the 2008 Singapore Grand Prix, Formula One's first night race, it is obviously, in its nature, after what I've told you, fairly controversial. Now, during the race, safety car deployment happened, and we all spoke about that. Massa, though, and this is interesting, he was leading the championship up until that incident, which he views as the turning point that cost him the title. He emphasised that pit lane error could have been avoided, but it wasn't. But Renault's team's actions were an episode that should never have occurred. I agree. The mishap left a lasting impact on the championship and tarnished reputations within the paddock, particularly affecting the French team. Renault. Massa believes that if the race had been annulled, he would have secured the World Championship under the old point system. The legal battle continues 2 decades later, with Massa and his team facing the FIA, Eccleston and FOM, that's Formula One management, in the courtrooms. The outcome could potentially rewrite a significant chapter in Formula One history, but if it does, I can assure you, 1994, where Schumacher hit Hill, 2021, Abu Dhabi, it's going to cause an absolute poo storm. I mean, literally, the poo, the excrement, is going to hit the fans so hard, we're not going to see what's coming, I feel, if this goes in Massa's favour, which I don't think it will, but I digress. So, what have basically the FIA and Formula One management said? Well, the crux of their case, which I completely agree with, the simple fact is, they said, this is the KC, the King's Counsellor. We used to have QCs, but the barrister, basically, for the FOM, basically saying, no, Massa, you're not getting the title on that side. And they've said the simple fact is that over the course of both the Singapore Grand Prix and across the 2008 season, Mr. Hamilton outperformed Mr. Massa and everyone else. So basically, this person, Annalise Day, is calling Felipe Massa mid. In short. There we go, yep. There is nothing unusual or unfair about that, they've said. Yeah. I mean, this is getting destroyed. Mr. Massa's claim conspicuously overlooks a catalogue of his own errors in 2008, which contributed to his overall second place finish. So, and this is what's interesting. He's saying if it wasn't for that one race, as we know, a championship, yes, you can look at one moment where you lost it. Even in Abu Dhabi 2021, had Lewis, for example, not made that mistake, brake magic in Baku on the restart, he would have won the title. Some would say. Having said that, 2021 was completely different from 2008. Lewis got screwed. But I'm not talking about that anymore. But this is quite interesting. This guy's put this up. Dude needs to get a grip in relation to Massa. I might even donate him a DVD of the 2008 Formula One season.
Do something about...
So I'm going to put the volume down and we're going to see Massa spun during the 2008 Australian Grand Prix. We're going to look at the catalogue of errors that Felipe Massa has done. And we're going to ask, yeah, you probably shouldn't have won that title, Felipe. I mean, here we go. He's going to spin, isn't he? Well, that's one. Malaysian Grand Prix. Number 2. Oh, Felipe's not looking good. He spun at Monaco. Oh dear. Well, this, I mean, he spins here more times than, I don't know, Tom Bowler does. The waltzer at a fair. It's just not good, is it? He's spinning. It's almost sad to see. It's like your younger 5-year-old brother trying to race. 5 times. 5 or 6 times during the same race. Absolutely insane. Let's carry on. Hockenheim, he was scared off the track by Hakkinen. I mean, that was aggressive. This is it. Yeah. I mean, that's just absolutely scary, isn't it? His fuel rig still attached. He's driving off. It's not good. It's not good at all. Lewis Hamilton passes Felipe Massa. Japanese Grand Prix, 2008. Well, I mean, that's a Massa all the way through. He goes off the track and hits Lewis. Even his dad is like, oh my God, what's going on? Oh, here we go. Yeah, I'm gonna pause it now because it's just, you can watch that. That's hard to see. The KC though for King's Counsellor for Massa, he said it's been an interesting few days. He can't really comment on the case, but he said it's an honour to be trusted with this representation. Absolutely. I mean, he must feel that they've actually got a case because he wouldn't have taken the case. so to speak. So Felipe Massa fires, though, a staggering claim over Fernando Alonso, and I think this is interesting. This has been brought up in the court case. So Felipe Massa revealed that Ferrari attempted to silence him in regards to comments about Fernando Alonso. In his witness statement, Massa disclosed that Ferrari reprimanded him in 2009 for publicly speaking about Alonso's involvement for the 2008 Singapore Grand Prix. He said, "In October 2009, I told journalists that I believed Fernando Alonso and the other Renault driver just won because of Nelson's crash. Knew it was on purpose." Now, he further detailed the actions taken by Ferrari, noting that he received the letter from the team's contract handlers, GSA, on October the 16th, 2009. That's a long way back. The letter, signed by Ferrari lawyer Henry Peter, aimed to prevent him from making public comments. He said, "When Ferrari found out, the GSA, the firm that handles the team's contracts, wrote me a letter reprimanding me about making comments about Fernando Alonso, making those public comments." Now, during the pressure, Massa chose not to comply with Ferrari's request. I don't think there's anything wrong with that, to issue a prepared statement. Instead, he opted for a more forward-thinking approach, stating, "Ferrari then drafted a statement for me to issue, but I refused to make that statement. Instead, I just said it was time to look to the future." Yeah, absolutely. Massa also mentioned that he was aware of Alonso's impending move to Ferrari before his own accident in 2009, which resulted in a fractured skull. He said, "I found out before my accident that Alonso would drive for Ferrari in the 2010 F1 season." Interesting. Yeah, I mean, revelations. Ex-F1 bosses, though, have been accused of conspiring to cover up Crashgate. And I think, yeah, they probably did conspire to cover up Crashgate in a way. So Felipe Massa legal team, they accused Formula One leadership intentionally of hiding Piquet Jr.'s crash. I mean, you couldn't hide it, but you may have been able to hide the reason behind it. Massa is challenging, obviously, seeking $64 million in damages from the FIA, Formula One management, and Bernie Ecclestone. Don't know how he came out with that number, but fair enough. The first point is that Massa's Katie argued. The first point is that it is no exaggeration to say the deliberate crash was one of the most serious incidents of sport manipulation in world sport. Not only because it was a blatant attempt to intervene in the race, but the deliberate act threatened the life of spectators and the driver itself. Extreme. Fair enough, though, yeah. I mean, spectators, I guess, could be hurt. It is dangerous. What then happens is the deliberate concealment of the conspiracy to have the crash. The deliberate concealment by those with responsibility for protecting the integrity of the sport. Deliberately conspiring together to cover up one of the most serious scandals in the history of sport. Yes! The integrity of the sport, though. When Felipe Massa was gifted the Belgium Grand Prix after Lewis Hamilton gave back the position to Kimi Raikkonen, didn't really give it back quickly enough, although that wasn't really written in the rules. What happened is, if you know Spa, they both went wide. Hamilton gained a position on Kimi Raikkonen for the lead. It was raining at Spa, and then he let Kimi Raikkonen go on basically the start-finish straight, and then passed him again almost straight away at La Source. Controversial, yes. Kimi Raikkonen ended up crashing out the race. They gave Hamilton a 25-second penalty, 25 seconds, which meant Felipe won, which was controversial. Integrity, though. Integrity of the sport. An interview with Bernie Ecclestone, and this is what started it all in 2023, suggested he and former FIA president, who's passed away, were aware of the Crashgate plot, but chose not to act. Ecclestone later claimed he did not record the interview, a point his lawyer emphasised. Mr. Massa's poor performance in the race was not related to the crash, he said, and neither was Lewis Hamilton's strong performance. Neither of them were aware of Renault's ploy. Massa's case is being heard at the Royal Courts of Justice in London, for those who want to know. So, what is the most recent update? Well, that's accused of conspiring, as we already said. Here, this is from motorsport.com. And I mean, what's interesting? Deliberate concealment. I do believe there was deliberate concealment in a way. The problem is, and I think the case is, I'm not a legal rep, but surely the case is so weak because they brought up the fact that Massa was a bit crap at times during the rest of the year, and had he actually won that championship, he would have done it. He would have done it then. And I think, yeah, you absolutely kind of have to agree. You can't compare it, for example, with Abu Dhabi 2021, because the rules in Formula One were actually broken in relation to the safety car, which is different. Some people have compared it. And it's just, they were basically, Hamilton outperforming him. I don't know how you get away from that. This is from planetf1.com by Thomas Mayer. $80 million now. I think it's £64 million, $80 million legal claim. Lloyd's representing Formula One management. Felipe Massa has been labelled as a misguided attempt to open 2008 wounds. As we know, Massa did finish as runner-up. He's basically blaming Crashgate. Eccleston reported, this is obviously talking about Eccleston, by the UK Times on Wednesday, who turned 95, was represented by his lawyer David Quest, who said he doesn't remember giving this interview. Having said that, Eccleston is 95. I'm not saying there's any kind of dementia stuff there, but you got to wonder. Sometimes when you give that many interviews and you're that famous, you're not necessarily going to remember everything you say. Exactly. So, it's just really interesting. Do I think Felipe Massa is going to win? No. Should he win? No. Is it an almost pathetic attempt? Yes. Now, I think that this is in relation to the damages. Absolutely. The problem is, if he wins, it's the court saying he should have been Formula One champion, in my opinion. And that cannot absolutely fly, because the minute that happens, you're going to open up massive issues within Formula One. Should he have won the 2008 championship? No, he didn't. I mean, Lewis Hamilton won pretty much fair and square in the end, I feel. And I don't think Felipe Massa, I mean, a lot of people have even suggested that Ferrari overall was the better car over the year. And yeah, I think you can see that. Massa did win, I think, more races than Lewis. But then I bring you back to the Belgian Grand Prix, which I think got unfairly taken away from Lewis. So it's just a bit sad, really, isn't it? Surely Felipe's got enough money. He doesn't need any more. Surely. Anyway, I digress. If you made it to the end of a slightly ranty at the end, sorry about that, Preachy, but give us a subscribe. Thank you very much. If you did make it to the end, we are not worthy. You are amazing. We'll speak to you soon. And above all else, deep breath and stay safe.